good, everybody? It is Monday, January 9th. This is your daily sports betting brand of record. We like to call it the Early Edge. We are powered, as always, by the almighty SportsLine, the best value in all sports betting, and it is not close. We have arrived in the world of college football. The national championship is tonight. But before we look forward, as always, we must look back. A decent day at the brand, M squared. How about that on a very difficult week to bet in the NFL? Almost impossible. How about a little money line parlay, the Seahawks winning in overtime, and then because of that win, they get into the playoffs because the Lions, professional to the end, knowing they were eliminated, they beat the Packers. So the Seahawks are into the big dance. All 14 teams are ready to go. As I mentioned, it's a busy day at the brand, and I mean busy. We normally have a Monday Night Football show tonight, but there's no Monday Night Football. So what do? I'll tell you what we're going to do. At 7:30 p.m. Eastern live tonight, we are going live. No, actually, that time is wrong. It's 6:30 p.m. Eastern time tonight. As the game starts at 7:30, it'll be me and the entire crew breaking down the entire national championship game, TCU and Georgia. So with that being said, this is the end of our week. We end on Mondays. We like to do things differently here at the brand. So let's bring in the stars of the show because they are locked and loaded. And the man who is a savage when it comes. What are you doing? There's no music. There's no dancing. Don't interrupt my flow. Snake, can I go back to my one shot and start over, please? Give us a bucket, please. Thank you. All right. Take two. Let's bring in the stars of the show because you know they're locked and loaded on a Monday morning. Now, he's our savage from college basketball and also football, and he is live from Las Vegas, Nevada, Sin City. Zack Cimini, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Good to see Maestro back. And I was able to, speaking of football, I was able to take my son. He was begging me all week with the Saturday game, the game being switched for Vegas race. Take me to the game. And I finally bit the dust in the morning. I was like, I'll buy the tickets. We went down there. It was great stadium. One of the few spectacles in Vegas you have to see, in my opinion. So I think it's the best stadium. I haven't been to every stadium, but I think it's the best stadium because it's brand new.
Man, it looks great, too. I saw your pictures on social media. So glad you had a good time with the little one, too. Now, while you were doing quality time with the little man, our little man was really sinking his teeth into some soccer over the weekend, and apparently he is so nice to join us this morning. Buckets, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. I noticed that Zach said, "Hey, Coach, it's great to see you again, Larry." Looked at me for a second and then dove into what he wanted to talk about. I'm not upset, Zach. It's great to see you as well. Just glad to be back, guys.
Wow! Shots fired.
Well, that's my welcome back for Larry. I haven't seen him in a while.
That's fair.
All right, next he is already been mentioned twice. He is our OG, and I got to tell you, Maestro, this will be our third national championship together as well. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. It's been a great run. And guys, I'm just a little concerned about Venmo. You know, it's a big company, but on Sunday nights, it doesn't seem to work, especially when I have a showdown with AB.
Are you saying you haven't got it yet?
Nothing's come through.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. All right. I don't even know what you call it, the bailiff of the showdown situation, I will have to get to the bottom of that, and I will. But we have to get into it right now. Storylines that could affect the betting lines tonight. And Maestro, we're not starting with the NFL because today it's all about the college kids. It's all about TCU. It's all about Georgia. So, Zack Attack, if you don't mind, start us off.
Well, my storyline involves Max Duggan of TCU, the quarterback. If they're going to have any chance, it's going to have to be what he's done all year, and that's keep them in games and make the big plays when it matters most. If you go back to their last game against Michigan, not his best performance, but he did make the few big plays when TCU needed to. 14 of 29 passing in that game is the only time this year he threw below 50% for a pass completion percentage. So I definitely expect him to improve. And then you also look at his dual threat capability. He ran the football for 15 times. That tied the most carries for him on the season. He did a lot with his legs, got 2 rushing touchdowns. So that's an aspect that I think you should dive into tonight in great conditions in another great brand new stadium at SoFi Stadium tonight.
And they're getting almost 2 touchdowns. I only hope that we have somebody on the show making a pick in that college game tonight. I can only hope. We will see. Now, the NFL. We know the playoffs are everything, and this has been the most unprecedented lead into the playoffs we've ever seen in the entire league. But last night, just like we'd hoped, the Lions were true professionals, and they showed up and they beat the Packers, and Aaron Rodgers is going home, and the Seahawks are in. So that means wild card weekend, Maestro, is now set. You're up.
Yeah, we've got 6 games coming up, 2 Saturday, 3 Sunday, 1 Monday. The lines have been out. They've already been hit. And I'm glad I locked in the first one at 49ers -10 because I'm seeing some 10.5s in the market. 49ers dominated both meetings, Seahawks, and covered both meetings. Seahawks have been quite fortunate to get to this point. Great story, but they do seem to be overmatched. And I just want to run down these lines real quickly. You look at the Chargers laying 1.5 in Jacksonville. Why is Mike Williams out there? Why is Bosa out there? Both left the game with injuries. Both supposedly will be ready, but why are you risking your stars when you have to travel on a short week? And for Jacksonville, it's not a short week because they played Saturday. And then looking down the board, the Bills opening 10-11 now against the Dolphins. Tua is not going to play. That's the assumption in the line because in week 17, the Bills were laying 7 at home and Tua was in the lineup. The Dolphins did cover. The Dolphins played 2 very tight games, but it will be different with probably Teddy Bridgewater coming back from the dislocated pinky to start. He was active yesterday. And the other lines, when you look at them, the Giants +3, they played them even. That could fall to 2.5. They lost on a 61-yard field goal at the buzzer. Interesting to hear a Giants O-lineman say he didn't think it was that loud in the first meeting. The Bucs +3, that could also fall to 2.5 just because of how bad the Cowboys have looked. And then the other one, the Bengals taking money from 5.5 up to 6.5, but I don't think we'll get to 7.
I had some Cowboys fan come at me on Twitter, Maestro, when I said their offense had been spotty this year. And this is not the way you want to go into the playoffs. He goes, why? What has Dak not done? The only thing worse than going to the playoffs, playing like they did yesterday, is having your starting quarterback play the entire game and play like they did yesterday. Oh, Cowboys, Tom Brady, I'm here for it. And me, Maestro, Mikey, RJ, we'll get you all set on our mega preview this week as well. Now, it's 2023. The World Cup is behind us, but we may have opened up a can we can't put the lid back on because this man has exploded. He has become a star of stars. He's also the only man that wants to find value in leagues that we don't even know where the countries are. So, Buckets, if you don't mind, what do we have coming up later this week?
So on Friday, for the first time ever, I will be giving out a parlay on the Early Edge Show. Not just any parlay, the here or there parlay. Belgium, China, Japan, Croatia, Serbia, Australia, Kazakhstan, Malta, Cyprus. It does not matter. The pay window does not discriminate. And I am just psychotic enough that I have been cashing tickets on every single one of those country leagues over the past couple months. And come Friday, I'm going to provide a parlay for all of you where I have no restrictions. We could be betting on an Australian game at 3 a.m., a Mexico game at 10 p.m., and a Cyprus game at 2 a.m. Again, I am just going to find the best value all over the country and provide that for everyone here on Friday. So make sure you don't miss the first ever here or there parlay.
I kind of came up with this idea for 2 reasons. A, I think it's going to be pretty cool and fun. And B, knowing that you have that Hinge account open now, I need you to spend more time at home and not so much time out there trying to find a lady friend. It's embarrassing. Take it out of your profile. I don't care if you're on Hinge, but she doesn't care if you're 18-2 in your last 20 picks. We care. We care. She doesn't care. I'll have to walk you through this as well. I can't wait for the here or there parlay. Damn it, I can't wait for that. All right, now it is time to get into our board for the day. And if you're not a SportsLine member yet, as I always say, what are you doing? But I'm going to do you a solid. Tonight's a national championship. We got NFL playoffs. We've got soccer. We've got baseball in about a month and a half. We've got college basketball. We've got it all. And I'll give it to you for free for 30 days. And after that, you're playing with house money. That is if you play picks from this crew. And then after that, it's the summertime. And we're into the World Baseball Classic. Before that, somebody in the chat, yes, we will do the World Baseball Classic. We do it all. So no plays from SportsLine today because I've got 3 cappers and I'm going to make a pick or 2. So, Zach, we already propped up the national championship. Let's prop it up one more time. This seems like what we saw in the semifinals. 51-45 TCU. Georgia barely sneaking it over 42-41. And then this number came out. Very interesting. Start us off.
Yeah, I do think Georgia's going to win this title tonight, their second consecutive. But from a point spread perspective, what we do on this show, I will take TCU. Now, there's a wide range of numbers out there right now, as low as 12.5 all the way to 13.5. I'm going to give out the best number for TCU side, and that is 13.5 currently, and buying the hook as well. You can purchase that hook up to minus 120. And then you ask, what number would you be comfortable with if you can't get the 13.5 and buy the half point like we can here in Vegas? I would play it in that 13 range. I wouldn't go to 12.5. So if you see that number, buy that half point up as well to 13. But I just look at Georgia. They're going to be the dominant team. They're going to win this game. But I look at TCU. They are not going to just get blown out in this one. So you look at Georgia. They're going to dominate probably for 3 of the 4 quarters. But that one quarter is going to be a TCU quarter that we've seen all season long. Maybe they get a 2-score advantage, maybe just a 10-0 advantage. But I think that's where this big number is going to come into play. Maybe they get out to a strong start like they did against Michigan. But I look at TCU, like I mentioned with Max Duggan, he is going to play better. I think that's not talked about enough, that big layoff they had from their Big 12 championship to their game against Michigan last week. He was rusty. He's going to be much better in this performance. And then there's also another aspect in these title games. There's a celebratory mode factor for Georgia. If TCU is driving, maybe they're down that 10 to 13 point range mid fourth quarter, and they get a fourth. They don't convert that fourth down when they're inside the 25, inside the 30. That is going to be a celebratory mode on Georgia's side of thing, or the give-up punt that you see. Once you get that final punt from TCU, I think Georgia's going to lay off the gas. There's no reason to score when you know you're going to win the game. I'll take TCU plus 14.
Why is everybody forgetting that Ohio State had Georgia down by double digits? I mean, Georgia is not the dominant team that they were a year ago, but yet it feels like they're just handing us cash. Zach Attack, thank you very much, big boy. Thank you very much. Now, Buckets, if you don't mind, I'd like to go next because I want to get out in front of the Istanbul Spur AS. I got 2 picks today from the association, and I've been, dare I say, on a little bit of a heater. Now, tonight, Bulls plus 8.5 in Boston. Now, the Celtics, yes, they have won recently, but that's kind of a misnomer. They've been giving up a ton of points. Where are my notes? They are right here. Now, Chicago playing much better. Here's their last 3 games, 126-118, a win over the Jazz, 126-112, a win over the Sixers, 121-112, a win over the Nets, one of the hottest teams in the league. The Celtics have been giving up a lot of points lately. I'll take the Bulls plus 8.5. Then the Bucks. Everybody thinks they're the Bucks of old. On the road, they're a 500 team, 9-9. The Knicks, they've been playing really well, and the Bucks are coming off a game where they gave up 51 points in the first quarter to the Hornets. So I'm going to take the over in this game. I believe it's 221 minus 110, and this will be a spirited night in New York, Madison Square Garden. Nobody's going to be paying attention to this game, but we will, because we're going to be meeting at the pay window. Now, Buckets, that is how you do it. You, sir, are up next. What do you got?
Well, I know we're all excited for the big game tonight between TCU and Georgia, but I have, in my opinion, an equally big game happening at noon today between Istanbulspor AS and Gaziantep FK in the Turkish Super League. While you're waiting for the big game tonight, join me in betting Turkish Super League. We're going with, of course, both teams to score here, as these are 2 of the worst defensive teams in all of Turkish soccer. Istanbulspor has conceded a goal in every single one of their games this season. Gaziantep has conceded a goal in 14 of their 16 games. These are 2 teams that are desperate to find wins, but refuse to play defense to get there. So take the over here. The BTTS is a bit too juiced for my liking, but the over is sitting pretty at minus 135. And then for my second pick, which is on Paramount Plus, so I recommend you watch it there, but just know that this is going to be a very difficult game to watch because we have, bar none, the worst 2 teams in Italy battling it out this afternoon at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. And this game is going to be hideous. We could very easily see 40 shots with only 1 or 2 of them on goal. These are the 2 worst teams, with Hellas Veronis taking Cremonese this afternoon. But these are 2 teams in Italy that have conceded, both of them, in every single game. They have bad defenses, they have bad offenses, and they have horrendous goalies. I do see BTTS hitting here. And it's important to know that between these two teams, they've played 32 games this year. And out of those 32 games, they've only seen one win. So neither team knows how to win. It's going to be a fun but difficult game to watch. But take BTTS at -130 there. Fantastic value for two teams that cannot play defense.
Very interesting that you use the word difficult, because I am quite sure I don't know what is more difficult to watch, this game today or your dating life right now, because they're both very, very, very hard to watch. All right. Now, I got to tell you, when I was doing my own personal handicapping today, this was a game that I stumbled across, and I loved one side of it. So when my OG, when one of the guys that I respect the most in the business is also on this team, I already made the bet. Maestro, the floor is yours.
Well, this is a big spot for the Sacramento Kings. They've coming off 2 tough home losses. They have to beat the Magic tonight. They're desperate, but the Magic are a different team now. They've won 10 of their last 15. They just beat the Warriors by 14 points. And what really impressed me was the game before that. They were getting blown out at home by the Grizzlies. They don't quit. They fought hard to the end. They lost, ended up losing by 8. I got 7 at Caesars. I'll still take 6 if that's what's available right now in the marketplace. And it all has to do with the Kings on defense. They can't play defense. They don't play any defense. Mike Brown said, we can score, but we are terrible defensively. And basically, that's the roster they've built. They're going to try to outscore you. The first meeting was 126-123 in Orlando. This is going to be a close game, an exciting game. I'll take the points.
And Big Cheesy says, Maestro, over 237 in this game all day. Did you look at the total at all?
Yeah, that's pretty steep, but it's an indication of the kind of offense we have right there with Banchero and Wagner and, of course, Sabonis and Fox and everyone the Kings can throw out there. So I would lean over, but I like the side a little more.
I have like this new thing that if it's 240 or higher, and I've got 2 teams that all bet 240 or higher. Other than that, I'm an instant fade on the overnight. If it's because that's just 4 perfect 60-point quarters, and that's hard to do. That is really, really hard to do unless you're the Lakers and one other team. You got to do the work yourself. All right. No, I'm not going to have a showdown for the Bulls bet to anybody in the chat. It's not going to happen today. I still owe 3 winners that we'll announce on In5 later today at 4 p.m. Eastern time from yesterday. So right now I'm broke because I got to find $300 somewhere. But I'll be okay. I'll be okay. Grab your paper. Grab your pencil. Here is the recap, courtesy of the snake on the 1s and the 2s. Maestro is on the Magic plus the 7 tonight in Sacramento. Zach Attack, he's got the college football national championship covered. We'll take TCU by the half a point, get it to 14. That's a very, very important number. It'll give you a push and then also give you that extra half point that can be so important maybe for a backdoor if Georgia plays up to their capabilities. Then buckets. 2 big plays here. The over in the Istanbulspor Gaziantep game, -135. Then Verona Cremonese Paramount plus Serie A, -130. Both teams to score. And then if you're going to cash with the coach, you're going to do it with these 2 games. Bucks, Knicks over 221 from the Garden. And then the Bulls plus 8.5 in Boston against the Celtics. We'll be back at 4 p.m. Eastern time. And then tonight, a very special college football national championship live show at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. We'll be putting stuff out all over social media so you won't miss one single second of our content. So with that being said, there's only one thing left to do. And I believe you all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window. For my entire crew, love them all. Buckets, Zack Attack, the Maestro, Snake on the 1s and the 2s. I am the coach. We're here every single day, multiple times a day. We do it for you, but we do it with you at the Early Edge. Good luck.